Everyone, my name is Sarah Jackson and I'm here to discuss the achievement gap in Grand Rapids, Michigan for my SBOF 301 course at Arizona State University. So number one, defining the achievement gap. So the achievement gap is defined as a disparity in achievement between different groups in the community. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, the communities that are vulnerable or affected by the achievement gap are community members of lower socioeconomic status, and community members of color. Causes of the achievement gap. Number one, the discipline policy. So according to Gary Apple, Great Lakes Comprehensive Center Director, explains that Black students in Michigan are 3.5 times more likely to be suspended or expelled than their white peers. So this is a commentary on the school system and how it's flawed and how it ties into larger societal issues such as racism. And these students are experiencing this as their academic experience. And obviously, they're going to be less invested in their education if this is how they're treated. And if this is the culture, then teachers are probably less invested in them. Number two, inequitable access to resources, including access to high-quality curriculum, teachers, and support. So teachers are overwhelmed, class sizes are really large, support staff members are scarce. This is all going to tie into the experience that students get when they're in the school from an academic standpoint. And if students are farther back on the continuum, come from lower socioeconomic statuses, or from race or ethnicity that is being discriminated against, obviously they're going to have less of a chance of academic success. Finally, support outside of school is going to have an effect on academic achievement. So students of a lower socioeconomic status are less likely to have academic support at home or to be enrolled in other types of programs that can support them academically or socially. So my proposal is twofold. Number one, staff members should be encouraged to be emotionally impaired or EI certified, so they can support their students who are victims of trauma or experience high amounts of emotional distress at school that can be barriers to learning. Now, I don't believe that it should be required. I mean, I want it to be required, but realistically speaking, I think that it should be encouraged. It should be funded by the state or by the district, and there should be a target percentage of 70% of staff members that are EI certified. Number two, an after-school program that provides academic and social support for students who are affected by the achievement gap. So students who are low performing academically can be invited, or in other words, they'd be getting a slip from their teacher sent home that their parents can fill out. And 5 days a week after school, they can go to this program, get support academically and socially from staff members and peers. So explaining my solution and resources. So for EI certification, the resources required will be, there's several online platforms that teachers can get EI certified. It costs about $30 on average per person, and it takes 2 to 6 weeks to complete. So teachers can do this certification over the summer, so they're not trying to juggle a class during the school year and getting an outside certification. After school program, I like to implement a lower ratio, so 1 adult to 10 every 10 students. This can provide a more individualized one-on-one approach for academic support and can support students working in smaller groups so that they can build relationships with their peers. Obstacles. Funding is always an obstacle. You can't expect to fund no money to close the achievement gap. I do believe that getting staff members EI certified versus arguing that there should be lower class sizes, which there should be, and more support staff members, which there should be. But I know that budget cuts are real. People get laid off, class sizes rise, and that's pretty much tale as old as time. But getting staff members EI certified would allow teachers higher opportunity to manage their classroom and support students during times of distress. If more than just the teachers are certified, that means that staff members or other members in the school can be there to support students in times of distress and try to break down some of those barriers to learning in the classroom. As far as the discipline policy goes, there's actually already some program in place to remediate this. It's called restorative justice. There's a youth advocate in the school, and they support the students on a deeper level and making suspension or expulsion as disciplinary actions the last possible course of action for that student. So EI certification can support preventing it from getting to that point for students, because they'll have adults in the building that are equipped to support them and that they can trust and go to in times of distress. The after-school program, again, obstacles, funding, so staffing it. Now, instead of using an outside program like the YMCA to come into the school for an after-school program, I think it could be built within the school, and it could be community staff members that the students know and see that can be working, and that will help facilitate a community and a family sort of comfortable feeling for the students. Again, obstacles, funding, the materials, and the staffing for that kind of program. Outcomes. I believe that if there are adults available in the school to help those students in their times of distress, they'll have less barriers to learning, they'll be more comfortable in their environment, and they're more likely to achieve academic success. After-school program. If students are overwhelmed in the classroom because they're in an overstimulating environment or they're experiencing challenges outside of school, they have a comfortable environment they can go to where they can bring their homework, they can bring their classwork, and they'll get one-on-one support so that it can fill in those gaps. Students who are of higher economic statuses have support outside of school, and this is our way of providing that for students who don't normally have that outside of school. And they can be more likely to thrive socially. They'll be in an environment where they're learning how to connect with their community and their peers. Why is this important? Grand Rapids has a 22.5% poverty rate according to the United States Census Bureau, and only 35% of the population of Grand Rapids has a bachelor's degree or higher. So this is really important for our community so that we can start at the bottom and we can make sure that students are getting access to resources that can help them succeed, can close this achievement gap, and make it so that the public school system doesn't fail them generation after generation, and that we can support those students who really need it and really deserve us to invest in them. Thank you.